So April's PCE, now here's what's interesting about it, came in at an annualized pace of 3.8%. Okay, that's annualized inflation, 3.8%. Now what's interesting about it is a month prior, it came in at 3.5%. The month prior to that came in at 2.8%. So you can see the trend here, the trajectory, right? It is certainly moving higher. Does anybody want to project maybe where we're going to be with the next report? My bet would be on 4.5%. Why do I think that? Just look at the sequence, look at the trend. It would suggest that maybe the next time would be somewhere right around that 4.5% in the next reading. Okay, so we all recognize this. Prices are moving significantly higher. We know this. And again, here's what's interesting about this. As you look through the notes of this report that came out here, it's not just energy, because we would think, oh, it's just the energy shock, right? It's just the gasoline and the oil disruption that we've seen. You would think that, but as I've been saying for a couple months now, anytime that we see price increases and a shock in oil or energy prices, that ultimately over the following months translates into higher prices on virtually everything as it works its way through the supply chain. Initially, yes, inflation is jacked up with an initial energy shock or oil shock, just mostly caused by energy, right? Or oil or energy. Okay, that's where we generally see it right from the very start. But as you move out a couple months, which to be fair, we've already moved out a couple months, right? Remember, the oil shock started back in March. That was a couple months ago now. But when you see a couple months later, then you start to see it showing up in other areas of the overall economy and price increases, which is what we're starting to see here. And I'm going to say this much, newsflash, more to come. This is not over. And as you see there in the article, it also indicates this is likely going to get worse before it gets better. Literally what I've been saying for a couple months now. And there's a lot of people out there that say, oh no, this is just going to go away. We're going to wake up one day and it's all going to be gone, just passed over like a storm cloud. Really? No, it's not. That's not how this works, right? That's not how it works, especially with energy. It takes months to work its way through the supply chain. And we're still in the beginning stages of this, working its way through. We're likely going to continue to see these elevated prices, unfortunately, probably through the end of the year. I'm going to say this, okay? I'm going to go out on a limb right now and say this. I'm going to be fair with you. I'm filming this video at the very end of May 2026, okay? End of May 2026. Come back and check this video out in 6 months from right now, okay? Here's what my prediction is. By the time we get to the end of the year, the holiday shopping season, we're going to see a ton of reports and people coming out suggesting we're seeing a muted holiday shopping season. Shoppers don't have as much money. They're not buying as many goods. They're not buying as many presents this year. Why? It's because of the oil shock, the energy shock. It's because of whatever. They're going to give it something, basically some prediction or make up something. But basically at the end of the year, people are not going to be able to buy nearly as much as they are, planning on or what they think they're going to during the holiday shopping season, whatever. But my point being is that we're going to see it everywhere in the headlines. Shoppers are strapped with cash. They're not strapped for cash. They're not going to be buying as much. They're not accumulating as much. They're not giving as much this year. Yeah, it's because prices have jacked up so much. People are only going to buy like one item or something. It's going to be very minimal per person, right? So anyway, at the end of the year, they're going to use this as a massive excuse, and that's going to be the reality because prices will be so much higher. And again, this isn't even over yet, okay? There's a lot more to come. Now, one other thing I want to point out really quickly is this. Remember this much. The Federal Reserve, starting a few years ago, started raising interest rates aggressively. Interest rates have only come down a little bit. They've lowered interest rates by about 100 basis points, or about 1% over the last, whenever they started cutting interest rates, 2 years ago or something like that. They cut interest rates a few times, maybe 3 times or so. A total of 100 basis points or 1% is how much they brought them down. Well, guess what? With these higher inflation numbers, do you think that they're going to lower the interest rates anytime soon? Nada. They can't. They cannot do it. Even with the new chairman of the Federal Reserve, Kevin Warsh, can't do it. Cannot lower interest rates into all of this inflation. This simply cannot be done, because if they do, all that's going to do is just fan the flames of inflation even more and cause even more of a situation that we're already dealing with, which is higher inflation by about double what it's actually supposed to be. Inflation's supposed to be around 2%. We're pushing nearly 4%. right? So point being is that it's nearly double what it's actually supposed to be. They've got a major problem. So